She didn't tell you about that because I was upset about the photo.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because someone sent it to me.
Okay. Wasn't me.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black But 91. We're giving you guys a live on Sistas. If you watch the show Sistas, then you know this episode was a little bit lively. It was a little bit special. I'm starting to lose a bit of faith in my Zach and Fatima. People are turning up at the door unannounced, turning up saying they're baby daddies. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. He must be lying. He must be wanting baby support. He must have saw the fact that, Zach has probably got money now and probably thought to himself, they get married, he going to get a little something. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't understand how people turn up at the door. Then we also had, obviously, Karen staying true to her name as always. Pretty much, wanting the most from Andy. And just being a really overall crappy friend as usual. Karen's from us watching Karen, her perspective of being a friend is always trash. Can't lie to you. It just feels trash every time she's railing on someone, cussing someone, doing the absolute most. We need Karen to change. Okay, it's time to change Karen. And then obviously we have a situation with Hayden and Gary, and they're trying to take over the company, and them having issues with the main guy, and I can't remember his name. I don't know why his name is slipping out my head, but Robin, and Robin said that he's got the money in the bank, baby. Now, what's mad to me is the fact that we have a situation with what's his name, Bayo. Now, why the frick would I give you 1.5 million pounds and I'm not gonna get up as well? I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now, I know it sounds mad, but they don't have a relationship like a friendship like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're my friend, yes, but you are not my friend. Okay, you're someone I'm trying to get into the panties of. So that's an expensive 1.5 million you're about to spend. Of course, he will get the money back if he doesn't run on bail, but that's a lot of trust I'm putting into you for 1.5 million. But I'm not even getting no post-war. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You call me when you want me to give you 1.5 million. You know what I'm saying? Since we're all in the usury spirit, let's use each other. Okay, you want to use my wallet? Let me use your body. Okay, now it sounds a bit wild, but the thing is, if you calling me just to use my money, I'm gonna ask for a fair exchange. That's what I'm gonna say. But there's a lot of mad things that happened on this episode. We saw that obviously Danny as well got caught with the guy that was actually blackmailing. Well, basically that put Maurice in prison. Why that had to happen as a storyline is stupid, but it's melodrama. It's what it is. And then obviously Sabrina catches her as well. So I think Danny also rejected Cowboy Boy coming back as well. So it looks like Cowboy might be marrying someone else or getting with someone else or going elsewhere. Who knows? But it's a lot of madness. But we're going to jump into this review. I'm not doing it alone. I'm doing it with Sean. And we're going to tap into this episode because there's a lot that was happening. What was your thoughts, Sean, like on this episode, man? Sistas, what was you saying, bro?
Listen, look, it's like they can't get it right to save their lives. Every single person just can't just have a peaceful existence. We talked about this too in their friend group. In their friend group, it's like there's not one of them that can be, someone that can give them good advice, right? And that has, a solid relationship that they can say, oh, okay, yeah, I can trust you. You're a good source for information. No, they all jacked up in one way or the other. And then they all kind of just get together and they make each other's lives miserable too. It's like the collective is just in a shambles. So Danny, she's gonna run a good guy away and welcome the worst of the worst, right? So we see it here. She's getting rid of the guy that really wants her, the good guy that really cares, right? Cowboy. And then she's running into the arms of a prisoner. And his antics alone, you would have thought she would have just been like, you know what? I feel like I'm moving wrong. The guy comes into her apartment. I don't know if she invited him or not. I don't know how he landed there, But I think if I remember, it was like he kind of like came in on the sneak. It wasn't like a full-blown invitation. So I think he just kind of landed there because I think she was like, "How do you know where I live?" Red flag there. Meanwhile, what's the cowboy's name? I can't remember his name. You mute.
I forget his name all the time. I can't remember his name.
Whatever. Cowboy. You know who I'm talking about, right? We all know. Now, she used to get on old boy all the time, right? About showing up to her place without giving full announcement, right? But here you got a whole convict showing up to your house. And this is the stuff we be getting upset with y'all ladies about, right? Because y'all gonna, give us, the guys that be out here trying to do right, the ladies will put these restrictions and boundaries on them. But then when you get a old Dusty, this guy's dusty as dusty comes, ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw out of.
With an ankle
Meanwhile,
monitor on.
she's letting him come through and lay it down.
Don't forget that ankle monitor as well, bro. The fact that he's got ankle monitors is
He
obvious.
could barely get
as
his
well.
drawers off for the ankle monitor.
It was a lot of madness. I can't lie to you in this episode. So we'll go through it, and I'll play some clips as well, so we can get to see each individual scene as well. Okay.
Well, Zach seems to think that you did.
Okay, well, I wouldn't do that.
Well, I don't know you well enough to know if you would or wouldn't.
Well, I have just said that I didn't, so that's how you know.
As I said, I don't know you well enough.
Okay, Fatima,
I mean, she said what I said. So what she said was, I said what I said, Fatima. Okay. I said I didn't do it, so I didn't do it. I was like, okay, Karen.
That was finally some pretty decent acting in back to back.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
You know, Karen is always going to say, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" But she definitely, they acted that scene out. I said it. You said it. These two finna come to blows. I think the only thing that keeps them from coming to blows is the fact that Karen is pregnant. Allegedly. I don't even believe it. But
same here to us.
Yeah, no, that was tough. I just need everybody to stop walking up and through Andy's penthouse. Because it's like that's where all the ish goes down, right? They just pop up, open, everybody just comes on through, and then here we go.
Literally, and obviously Fatima was there because obviously she was going to stay around, and she was going to literally stay over because of the fight with Zach. And then obviously when Karen came over, she ended up actually leaving because obviously she went back to the crib, which we're going to talk about Fatima because this is the second time I've seen Fatima be unaccountable for the bull crap that she pulls. I love her, but this unaccountability, we got to draw out. You know what I mean? We'll get there. But yeah, no, the beef between Karen, Fatima, and Andy situation, I totally get where Andy's coming from. It's like, I'm cool with both of you. I'm not telling you stuff. I'm not telling you stuff. Don't try to drag me. And it's Karen always dragging her into some bullcrap because it's Karen always trying to hold her accountable for stuff that she's not even doing. It's like, yo, if I'm not telling you because it's her business, I'm not going to tell you when it's her business. Like, it is what it is. You don't have to get vexed. But Karen be always trying to pull that friend loyalty rank card. Even when she's wrong, she'll pull that card, to get out of the situation. She's unaccountable a lot of times, Karen, and she just moves mad. Even though we've seen a better behavior from her in the past few kind of episodes and stuff. But she's always pulling some kind of rank. It's annoying, man. After a while, you're like, Karen, get it together. Okay? Just get it together. We know you're pregnant. We know you're with Aaron, but get it together, sis. It's not every time, What's your thoughts on that particular scene, though?
Yeah, I think she needs to stop this cat and mouse game with Fatima and Zach. Because it's showing, energy like there's still something there. And as much as she's trying to now say that it's not, it's giving energy that it does. So I think like at the end of the day, she's going to have to just let it go, And I think that she's starting to realize it, but I don't know if it's driven by her or the fact that she sees that Zach doesn't want her and is just building a beautiful relationship with Fatima, or trying to, at least, you know, he can see their bond, right? She can see their bond together. So that's the worst thing, you know, that's the worst way to be able to get over somebody, is not because you want to, it's because you have no choice but to, right? Because he don't want you. And it's almost like there's a slight little bit of her that liked the fact that he showed up and acted a fool a little bit with Aaron, and was a little annoyed with her about the photo surfacing, right? She probably didn't want it to go all left like it did, but there was a part of her that liked it, because one thing I noticed about people that like attention, or that want someone's attention, they get to a desperation point where they will even take negative attention, right? It doesn't even have to be positive attention that they want. It's just any kind of attention. And one thing, at least Tyler, you know, I will say with that whole fight scene, at least he didn't have Aaron out here spinning and doing pirouettes like the other old boy. Aaron held his own. Aaron held his own. I was like, that's right, Aaron. He was fighting, but you know what that fight and that adrenaline was from? Because he's sick of Zach. He's like, I'm tired of you. I love this woman. You're not treating her right. I want to be here for her. This is everything that I really wanted. And you ain't going to have me punking me out here in the middle of the streets. So they, you know, they went toe for toe. So I did like that.
He gave some good licks as well. He gave some good licks while he was there, bro. He said, I'm gonna get you for this. He said, bro, you ain't gonna get away with this, man. You've had your time. Okay, convict or not, I'm gonna show you these Jesus hands. Okay, I'm gonna lay some hands on you, the holy hands. Okay, so yeah, he put some paws on him for real, and fought for the woman who he loves, and I appreciate that. You know, protective person, and he gave as good as he gave as good as he got, man. Do you know what I mean? So he showed that obviously at that point. Listen, I'm not no pushover. Just because I'm not always fighting, you don't mean I'm not a pushover. Just because I don't argue all the time, I don't mean I'm a pushover. Today was your last day. You're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? That's the last day you're gonna do that, because now you're gonna know you're gonna respect these hands. People say, well, you can get a 2-piece combo if you want it. You know what I'm saying? You get a Jesus special.
What's that song that what's his name sings? Don't play with me, don't play with me, play with Jesus, because I throw hands. That's
I don't even know that song.
That's what's his name? Oh boy, they be out here running his wife into the ground. He's a performer, rapper, singer.
Not him running his wife into the ground. Who? Offset?
No. Oh, he's African cat, and he always talks about how his wife wanted him.
Oh, Toby.
Yes, Toby and Ngegwa.
Yeah,
like jacking up the last name, but yeah, he has a song like that. And that's what Pastor Aaron said.
He said, "Oh yeah, yes." I remember. Hey, fire, set up like fire. Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah, I know you're talking about the live session.
Yep.
You can catch these hands. Just because I'm Christian, don't mean you can't catch these hands.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so true though. Just because I'm Christian, don't mean you can't catch these hands. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next scene that was happening between these two boys as well, because you know they're throwing these guys in as well.
It's there. Okay, so he was telling the truth then. The money came in on a wire. I got a friend that works at the transfer station. Wait, what? I'm telling you with the
Sometimes I just be wondering, these two are the most sassiest goons ever. I don't even like calling men sassy, but these two are sassy because every time they get into a spat, the beef is over women, and also the way they behave is like women. I'm just saying the way their vendettas work. It's like, bro, what? Hayden is a stalker, and Gary, you ain't no better. You stalker too. These are toxic individual males who need prison. Both of them. You know. What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I'm with you. The vindictiveness is legendary when it comes to those two, and it's terrible because it's like, you know, typically with a guy, if we duke it out, we have a fight, you get the best of me, I get the best of you, whatever happens, we pretty much gonna move on. like, unless we're not talking about like outside of people that are in the gang in the real street life, but you know, we have a disagreement, we go tussling, I'm gonna take my L and I'm gonna just move on my way, right? Hayden can't let it go. Like Zach dang near threw him down the stairs, and he's going through all these lengths to still get at Zach. In addition, you know, now there's this mastermind, multi-layered plot to take down the attorney, right? Or the partner attorney. It's like, really? Like and you know what it reeks of? It reeks of insecurity. Because really, if I'm secure, if he's really secure in the fact that he has a legit relationship with Andy and that they, you know, they have a solid thing, why you need to take out the next man like this? That's the part, like, to me, is like, it just reeks of your insecurity where you have to literally try to send this man back to London. And Andy is no better because she's complicit in all the foolishness. It's like, come on. Like, you know, he is crazy. She knows that he had been watching her previously from the apartment in the other building. And you still carrying on a relationship with this guy under the guise of, oh, you don't want him to sue you. So release the things that you don't need. You had your own place. You had your own car. You don't need a penthouse. You don't need a Rolls Royce. You were doing well on your own. So why are you caught up in this toxic spin cycle? It don't make sense.
She likes toxic. Because she likes toxic.
Yeah.
She likes toxic.
Jacqueline just said it. Yeah, and you said it too. It's crazy.
She's had opportune time to get rid of Gary. Gary has been on the screen far too long. He's been moving from madness to madness to madness to madness and still isn't in prison. Him and Hayden are like the two worst kind of goons. And I keep saying it. That's what happens when you have feminized men. These are feminized men. When you have feminized men, this is what happens.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But Hayden, I wish he would be unalived. Because he's the kind of person that he's not going to let up. Because... Yep. Listen, Fatima had those guys beat the living daylights out of him. Zach beat the living daylights out of him. And he is still hell-bent on wreaking havoc. And now he, you know, every time he sets his sight on somebody, you know, no sense. And now he's getting, you know, Fatima hired this whore to seduce him. Who knows where that's gonna go? Because he's crazy enough. She might be putting old girl in danger because he's not rep tight. And God forbid he finds out that this girl is scheming and he's all in love.
Danger for her.
It's danger.
I agree that. I agree. These two are the worst niggas. I can't lie to you, bro. People out here buying cars, taking them back, buying houses, trying to sue. You know, doing the most, bro. Like, these are the kind of men that are scary. Not even just like they're bad, they're scary. Like you can lose your life with these people. These are the kind of guys that would take your life. You know what I mean? Like it's too mad. They don't have no control over their emotions, and because they don't get what they want, they get power hungry, and they try to unalive you by financially crippling you, or mentally crippling you, or emotionally crippling you. Yeah, Hayden's one of the worst. Like, bro, that guy is moving mad. He's been moving mad for seasons. In fact, he went to the house, and Fatima had to smash up his house, and he's still moving mad. It makes no sense. You know, at least with Gary, Andy has folded them quicker than anything else. But with Hayden, he's been warned several times about his conduct physically, and still he's on her tail.
Yeah, bro. It is a little quick story time. I knew somebody in my friendship circle that was just like this. Very manipulative. Would go around, tell one person this thing, would weave stories, you know, and just caused a lot of problems. And eventually the guy wound up just getting banished, right? But it's like people like that, they sit on the surface. And then it's like you would think they're a nice person until you kind of like start to pay attention, like they're always in the center of something. They never take accountability. They're always in the center, and they just get a kick out of causing and stirring up problems. It's like, bro, you got to do better. And again, for men, the consequences are grave. You can quickly, you know, he's had a lot of graces in terms of like a 9 lives, and that's because this is TV. Any other guy, the stuff that you do, you don't.
You'd be unalive.
Exactly.
Yeah, you'd be unalive. Especially if you keep playing with them hood chicks and hood guys, you're going to be unalive. Unalive. A Fatima person who really isn't as corporate as she says she is would have unalived him a long time ago. He'd have been 6 foot under, deep in the trenches.
Yes,
that's where he would have been. 6 foot deep. All right, next one. Let me get to the yams. Sweet, sweet yams. All right.
Now talk to me like that, Zach.
It doesn't, Fatima. But you said some shit to me too, though.
Zach, I've never talked to you like that.
You haven't. Okay? But I was mad, and I'm sorry.
And you know how.
Okay. So Fatima and Zach are interesting because I feel like I don't know if the writers have got a hold of them, and I can't wait for Fatima to come back because the writers on Tyler Perry's Sistas be writing them into hell. I like literally writing them into hell, okay, into the furnaces of the abyss, okay, where the dark prince lies. Because honestly, it was going so good. I didn't want to say I want to see perfection, but I wanted to see some just the character development. Y'all were giving us that on Fatima, but looked like you slowed it down on Sistas. But yeah, the conversation between Zach and Fatima was interesting because obviously Fatima came back obviously because she wants to at Karen's, at Andy's, but you know, she was making him work for it in a sense. She was making Zach work for it. And Zach was at the point of groveling. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with, you know, trying to get back your girl and you try hard. But what I do have a problem with is when people are unaccountable. Fatima was unaccountable in her behavior, acting like she was almost like she was perfect. Sis, let's not forget. Let's not forget. You put your hands in his face. Let's not forget, you put your hands in his face. So when we're talking about who's bad and who's worse than the other, it don't worry about that. You put your hands in his face. You went one step further, and no one's ever spoke to me like that. Well, no one's ever put your hand in my face. I don't understand why you're my partner and put my hand in your face. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was unnecessary. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I think this is what happens. And we talk about this often on the channel, right? When you're right, but your tactics are wrong.
Yeah.
And you feel justified in your tactics because you're right. But you can be right and be wrong at the same time. Two things can be true. And if your tactics go too far, it will also discredit everything else that came before that you were right about. Right? Because if I get in your face and I'm yelling at you because I feel like you're not doing something you should be doing, yeah, it's all bets are off at that point because now I've upped the ante. You cannot do that. And I think that it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate dynamic that exists between Zach and Fatima, and it's starting to, you know, start to really grow into something dangerous. Because she's always the one that's been in a protect position. She's always the one that's, you know, for the most part, come in and save the day, right? With her backwards tactics too, because her tactics are horrible. Let me tell you, her tactics can put herself in jail. You just cause a whole lot of problems. But she's, you know, and that's when they had that fight. She was like, well, because I don't have a record. No, but you will have a record, ma'am, if you continue to do the things you're doing. So that doesn't, just because you don't have a record doesn't mean that you have a license to just run ramshot all up and down through the streets.
She will have a record if she keeps going the way she was going, because she out here thinking she's invincible and freaking Luke Cage's sister. I need you to chill, sis. You know, there are consequences in this real life. I mean, it's a TV show, but there's consequences in the real life in terms of your behavior. And she goes on like she will never get caught and never get convicted. You know what I mean? Sis, you out here moving mad, almost unaliving people. You gonna get caught if you keep going the way you're going. You know, and this little excuse of I don't have a record, but you do, will go out the window because you have a record. You'll be strike one. Okay, so I need old girl to realize in this situation, you don't want to be trying to utilize that. You know, you got a record as an excuse all the time. I think what's interesting about Fatima though, is her ability to point out his faults without oftentimes looking at her own. And I think we saw this in Fatima too, when the whole situation went down with his friend, how they were handling it when the friend and his wife was coming around to the crib towards the end. They were having Fatima and Zach were having some arguments, and the way that she handled it, I was like, why didn't there was again, she didn't point out what she did. She only pointed out what happened to her. And I think it's because, again, like you said, she's been in a protective role, but also there's trauma there, which means, I think she gets locked into I'm doing the best I can do. And if you follow me, it'll work. You know what I mean? But not realizing that, at the same time, you got to take some accountability when you do something and it goes wrong. Yeah. We've seen how you lose control when you go around someone's house and take a baseball bat to everything that's in the house. That was Hayden. He took a baseball bat to everything he was in. I was like, yo, babe, when you get emotional, you lose it. So when you lose it, you could be in the same position Zach is in. So before you start talking about, positions and this and that, you've got a record, just remember you're one step away from being there, because the stuff that you do, that stuff ain't legal.
Yeah, I think that Fatima, we don't ever really see her apologizing, And I think sometimes women get a pass with apologizing. They can apologize with their actions, right? Just like she let him come sleep back in the bed, or she came home versus staying the night at Andy's, right? That was the apology. Or that was kind of like her acquiescing versus putting the words to it, which is when we F up, we got to put the words and the actions and then the follow up and be consistent. Whereas women kind of like, they dodge it. Because remember, I don't know if this happened on Sistas or on Fatima, but she was moving mad with her ex-boyfriend that supposedly had cancer and needed it, and then a picture surfaced of her hugging old dude. She never really was contrite about that situation. She was defensive. She shook it off. She just over-explained. She contemplated, wanting to do what he asked her to do. So her hands ain't clean all the time either. But she's not normally in the position of having to apologize or really be held accountable because Zach has so much going on. So it's kind of like her madness gets overshadowed because this guy can't get right to save his life.
Every turn he falters. I'm with you on that, bro. I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was like, and when he said he was Devere said obviously he shouldn't have slept on the couch. That's my thing as well. That's what I keep saying about Fatima. Fatima's issue is that pride is a big thing, and the lack of ability to be able to climb down when she gets emotional is her biggest fault. She can do a lot of great things, but when she gets emotional, yeah, she goes right back to her little girl almost, because like she said, she found out the kiss wasn't him, found out the kiss wasn't as a result of what he did. She did this kiss on his cheek. Whoever took the photo, we don't know, but it seems like this should have been a time to come and apologize to him as like, look, I didn't believe you and I was sorry I didn't believe you. But no, that's not what the conversation is going to. The conversation is now flowing on to, you did wrong, Zach, and I've never been spoken to in this particular way. And Zach gonna be like, yeah, you're right, my bad, I apologize because I want to keep you. Sir, where are your balls? Just saying. I'm not saying that he has to quit on for Fatima, but he does have to have a backbone. And it's like it's of late it's not been there. We saw it in Fatima though, when he was saying on the table, when they had that table scene, remember with the friend.
Was that the friend that
Said that she dated him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can deal with a wild hellion, you know, because he's used to that energy with the old wild women that he messes with in the streets. And then also Karen got a lot of hellion in her too, because, you know, so I think he knows how to deal with those tactics. But Fatima brings this different kind of energy, and then he is head over heels in love with her. So I think he was. What I will say is I'm not a big fan of that sleep on the couch thing, but I understand why he did it, because at the end of the day, you have to pick your battles, and ultimately, these guys damn well must be married at this point because they're engaged. Their relationship is like solidified like a marriage would. So in a marriage, you can't push it, right? So she's back. Initially, she was staying out. She came back home. You know, you live to fight another day, right? So tomorrow we wake up in the morning, you know, you could wake up next to me and I'm tapping you on your back with, you know, my morning wood. So I'll stay on the couch, but I'll wake you up with my morning wood tomorrow. How about that?
You're freaking lost. He said, but I'm gonna let you know in the morning.
Exactly. I'm not gonna leave here with something. You're not gonna leave this house with.
Exactly. You gonna get something, okay? Because I ain't gonna leave here without something. Yeah, no. I get what you're saying. Though he took the hit for the night to extend his period of stay for the rest of the considerable future. Sometimes you gotta concede. It's not always you gotta win, even though you might be right. Sometimes you gotta concede, and that's fair. But it's just interesting that anything that disturbs the peace between himself and Fatima from the outside, he's very militant. But when the very person who's actually a threat from within, which is Fatima herself, he doesn't have the same energy for her. You know, I mean, he did their last episode. He gets a little bit frustrated, but he doesn't know how to come back down from that to be able to, you know, wrestle the situation in his favor. And so, yeah, he always finds himself in a situation where he's almost like following after or curtailing after what she wants, rather than actually being like, this is what I need, this is what I want, and here's what I'm gonna do. So I think there's a need for Zach to get a bit more of a backbone and learn how to set effective boundaries, so that you know this situation doesn't happen again. You know, and let her know, listen, you can't put your hand in my face. It's not gonna happen. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a big thing for me.
You bring up a good point. I think that there's two things at play for, you know, why he treats her that way and he doesn't have this backbone. I think it's back to what we were talking about earlier, right? I think he has so much guilt for all the things that he's put her through. So it's kind of like he's like, damn, I feel bad. You know, but guilt is not a good reason to not stand up for what you know is right, because then things like what happened, which is what triggered her, is when he was like, not in my house, right? You know, and then she just kind of like, then it triggered, they both were triggered, and then that's why she was like, I'm not staying. So that's why those things happen, because you're so upset. So by the time you're like holding it in, you just boom. And he hit her with that, and then that really hurt her feelings, because she felt like, oh, this house, I've said this, you know, I told you I didn't want to get rid of my place. I told you I didn't want to, you know, be vulnerable. And they're both really scared of the vulnerability, right? She's scared of the vulnerability of letting him in and continuing to be soft. And he's scared of losing her because he's never loved like that before. So I can understand that, because I can even remember there were times, you know, when I was married and we would have, you know, arguments, and it wasn't necessarily that I was told to, I was never told to like, oh, you're going to sleep on the couch or whatever. No. Right. But, you know, even if we were in the same bed, it would be kind of like a mile in between us. And I would just be so happy to have that versus, you know, arguing or anything like that. So you just accept it, but you still know that it's not a good feeling when you have that contention. It doesn't sit well. You shouldn't have those moments in a relationship where it's you've reached such a high that you don't even feel settled inside. Your body is not well, right? You know, and that's why getting to that level is not good. You have to deal with things as they come along. You can't let things fester. And when you are resolving things, you have to pick the right times when you're going to resolve them. Sometimes talking about it right now doesn't make sense. And I think Fatima made a good, was that here or another show? I think she was like, whoever said this, and correct me if I'm wrong, she was like, no, we don't need to, we can go to bed angry. Was that this show or am I mixing shows? Nevertheless, if it wasn't here, it's a great point, because that sometimes we have to debunk those old things. You can go to bed upset. Even a good therapist will tell you sometimes it is better to sleep on it where you're not so heightened and in the moment, and talk about it when you're clear versus trying to nail it down that night. Because sometimes when an argument, and we've seen it in debates here, sometimes the debate is high. I feel so right about it. You feel so right. We're going to always, no matter, even if I make a good point, you make a good point, chances are I'm not going to hear you if I'm so dug in. So you can go to bed upset. And trust me, you probably will wake up better.
I'm with you on that, sir. I'm with you on that, to be fair. All right, cool. How do you like eggs in the morning?
Is it that bad?
I'll grab a smoothie later.
I mean, I could make you one.
No, my spot is brother shot.
What are you shaking your head, bro?
Simping ain't pimping. I'm sorry. This guy, I don't,
What?
you know, that's not a word that I just throw around lightly, but Aaron be simping all day long. Simping. If Karen, hey, April, welcome. If Karen gives him an inch of attention, he's like a puppy, you know? It just makes me so upset that he's just so willing to take whatever she's willing to give. And it's not even like she's lying. You know, she'll show up at the basketball court and he's like, oh, what happened? Something with Zach. Yeah, I just needed and he just willingly gives. I don't care. Treat me like crap. Tell me it's not my baby when it probably really is his baby. He don't care. And that is a bad dynamic, because she holds all the cards.
Absolutely, April. Welcome, man. We're talking about obviously Aaron and Karen at the moment. What's your thoughts to their particular interactions at this point? You know, he's cooked her breakfast. She doesn't want breakfast. They're chilling, they're talking. What's your thoughts?
Karen gets on my nerves. All the whispering and the bad country accent is horrible. I do remember in a few episodes back where she and her mom were talking about how he's kind of too good to be true. And I'm kind of on that same, it's kind of like he's bending over backwards, and I don't really know what she's giving for him to do all that bending over backwards for. But I don't know. I don't know about them. I just think that she's not over Zach. She still wants to be with Zach. And she's not over him. And I think at this point, she's trying to use him to get over Zach. And if she is pregnant, it might actually be Aaron's baby, in my opinion. I don't know if it's really Zach's.
I'm with you on that. I think you know, that Karen's character is, do you know what? First of all, I think every character on the show needs a bit more character development anyway. But with Karen's behavior, with Aaron, you know what? We finally saw her accept that, you know what, Aaron's the kind of guy she needs, and Aaron's the kind of guy that she wants. I think she's learned to accept. I think she's learned to accept the fact that, you know what, she can have Zach in her life in a portion. So it's like I've still got a piece of Zach in my life. You know, we have to remember season 1, how they started. Season 1, they started with Zach and her fighting some white guy in their house, him getting stabbed, she shooting the gun. They have some deep ass history, you know, from that show. And so obviously, you know, seeing her now with Aaron all the way through with no interruptions, you know, she's learned to accept that, okay, Aaron is a guy that I know that would love me and appreciate me and wants to hold on to me. But you can just feel that the way the show is going to go, there's a spanner in the works because it's settled too nicely. There's a spanner in the works. And then if now the baby's not Zach's, forget Zach's feeling because he doesn't really matter about that because he'll be happy to be free. How does that affect Aaron and her again? Because she's built her whole understanding on, you know what? I've got Zach a little bit, and now I've got my Aaron as well. So I've got the best of both worlds. What happens when the best of both worlds goes out the window? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Any more thoughts on that particular scene before I play another clip? No? Cool. I'll play another clip. All right.
Way over here.
See.
Calvin,
All right. Guess I'll go.
we're not together.
I know that. But is
But
I'm gonna need her to free up the body. Okay, 1.5 million is crazy. Okay, all right, just saying. What's your guys' thoughts on this? Sean, what's your thoughts on the old girl Sabrina?
Look, I think you know, unfortunately, it's two formulas for the guys on the show. Either they're a simp, or they're a thug, or they're somewhere in between, bisexual or gay. That's like everybody falls into one of those or a combination of those things. So this guy, what's his name again? This isn't Aaron. This is Calvin. First of all, they could have left him in first season with the dildos. You know, they could have left him right there with the dildos and the panties because I'm just over it. You know, and he's another one just willing to accept anything that Sabrina is dishing out, willing to take his life savings to get her out of, you know, jail. Meanwhile, they're not even together. They're not together. They're barely friends. And at the end of the scene, she boots him out and tells, this is what I love. They tell you, I'll be damned if you gonna tell me you sending me on my way so you can get the next ninja up in here for some $1.5 million. Like, you just got to tell me that once. I'm calling Ojo or whatever his name is. I'm like, all right, tell him I said what's up. Take care. And meanwhile, please don't call me anymore. You know, that's it. I'm done. How much embarrassment can one man take? This guy has been literally beat to a pulp, you know, run up and down. He's roommating with Maurice, who's probably the funniest person on this cast, you know. But this guy's been through a lot. He needs to go sit on the bench and heal. Didn't one of his fathers pass away? Like, come on. I don't even know why Calvin is involving himself in Sabrina's mess. I'd be looking at her like, good luck, girl. Well, if he's gonna give it to you, good luck. Good luck. But that boy, I don't even trust it. Till that money hit the account, I don't buy it. I think he's a scam artist. Somehow, I really, in my heart of hearts, I believe he might be in on something that why Sabrina's even in jail, or now Maurice is.
I agree with you, Sean. I really feel like Bio is probably some type of scammer, or he's going to put some type of stipulations on this money where she got to marry him or something. She's about to be in a whole concubine circle or something, sister-wise. something. You're not giving me $1.5 million for nothing. You're going to be doing something. You're going to be dropping it low and spreading it wide. I don't know. You're going to be doing something for $1.5 million. And I think Sabrina is probably the one on the show that kind of I least like, because she's so like an airhead for you to be in finance. I'm like, you need to be like, you're not thinking analytically. For someone in finance, you usually are an analytical thinker, and she's not an analytical thinker. And I just don't know if that's just a ball drop for Tyler Perry because he's writing everything and producing everything. But a finance person is always going to be thinking ahead. They play chess, not checkers. So I don't understand why Sabrina is such an airhead and she was a manager of a bank. Just doesn't make sense to me. And Calvin, as soon as he would have got knocked out like that, you would have been a wrap for me. You're not going to get knocked out in front of me and spin around like that and expect me to still want to be with you and to be my protector. No, if I can beat someone up or if I can beat you up, there is no need for us to be together. I want a protector. I want someone who's going to be there to kind of like shield me from danger. I don't want to do the shielding for him. So yeah, I don't like him. I think he should, like you said, should have gone like in season 1, but definitely when he did that spin around, Sabrina should have left him. I don't know why he's still around. He's really not adding anything to the show to me.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely hear you on that. And nothing in this life is free. You know what I mean? And just they don't have that kind of relationship where this is free. That's what I'm trying to say. Like they don't have a friendship like that. So, you know, she gonna be dropping it low, like Kristen Milian said. Okay. So she gonna be dipping it low, okay, doing it up slow. So I hope she's ready for that because this ain't free. 1.5. Do you know how much 1.5 million is, sis? That you're just gonna be like, yeah, he's giving me 1.5 million to free Maurice. For what? He actually rejected you in the first round. So why the second time has he come around and thought about it? You know what I mean? The guy thought to himself, listen, this could be a great way to get her to feel sorry for the fact that, you know what? I gave 1.5 million. She's going to owe me a gratitude and debt. You know, shit, you know, it won't be said, but it will be felt. So, you know, she going to find herself in some way, in some antics that probably she don't really want to be doing. But because she's accepting this 1.5 million, now she's in trouble. Go for it, Cap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and Sabrina, she loves to play the innocent, doe-eyed. How did that happen? How did we get here? How did I do? Did I do that? You know, it's like, come on, Sabrina, you know better. Well, I'm hoping. No, you knew better, because even if you remember from Old Boy, who is now, I think him and Andy are together in real life. But remember when he was the teller at the bank and he wound up over at her place in these uncomfortable situations? It's like, Sabrina, come on. Sometimes it's going to be like, you got to do better, sis. Like, come on.
I want better for you.
Yeah. It's like, have better, you know, decision-making skills, judgment. Just like you mentioned, April, I believe she's a branch manager, and I used to be a branch manager, you know, back in the day. It takes you have to be organized. You have to understand operations. You have to understand sales. You have to have people skills. It's like, if she's not the branch manager, she's like definitely the assistant branch manager in that bank, right? Either way, you have to have like skills that are like firing on all cylinders. And half the time it's like things are just happening. You know good and hell well, this man is just going to give you. Why would you even pick up that phone to ask him for one? Just the mere asking for the 1.5 million puts you in a very vulnerable position. You don't know him. You don't know him.
And why didn't she ask him to bail her out? Why didn't she call him to bail her out? You were just sitting in the jail cell.
Well, she was going through her what was that show? She was with Queen Latifah and the movie. What is it? And they were like robbers. It was Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett.
Set it off.
Set it off. Remember, she had the set it off hair.
Yes.
So she was busy in a set it off militant moment. But they wound up rallying the troops and and got her together. So they figured a way for her to get out. So I don't know. April, nothing of this show makes a whole lot of sense. But she's just desperate because she feels like Maurice is going to turn on her. And meanwhile,
It's 1.5 million though.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And I'm not confident that Maurice isn't going to run. I'm really not that confident he's not going to run or something's going to happen. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about Maurice.
Yeah, the bail amount alone is ridiculous because how much money was even stolen? So I don't even think the amount of money that was stolen, there was no million stolen. So it's like, why is the bail set so high? How could they do that? Is Maurice a flight risk? Does he even have a passport? Like, come on. Like, let's just be real here. And the last time I checked, I thought bail, whatever the bail amount is, your bond needs to be 10% of the amount. So I would think it would be 150,000, not 1.5 million. So it's all crazy to me. But nevertheless, Sabrina's gonna be in a sex cult. Like, what's that stupid show that I never got into?
Is it Ruthless?
There you go.
Yeah. I never watched. I think I watched one episode and I was like, I can't.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, she gonna be in Ruthless. Watch, she gonna spin off into Ruthless.
It probably will be a mesh up, like was Eva, like Eva was.
Okay. All right. Cool. Bring the next clip. Looks like it's Andy again.
Just so you know, it's not going to work. He's going to lose the business.
Gary, why is this so important to you?
Well, I want him to go back to London or wherever he came from.
Andy sure knows how to pick him. She sure knows how to keep him too. My mercies. What's your guys' thoughts once again on this particular scene?
I'm not really sure why Gary is still like in this pursuit of Andy. Like I'm not really understanding this whole dynamic. It's just weird to me. Like he's doing all of this just to get Andy, and she's kind of playing coy with him. Like she's not really saying that they're together, but he's doing all of this. Like, is that going to make y'all closer? I feel like she's playing some type of game with them, and she even said like this episode where she said, "Well, I want to make partner," and so I don't know if she's really. I think she might be playing Gary, and we all know Gary is a hothead. So I don't know what he might do at this point if he finds out that he's being played, because she did tell what's the guy's name? The owner of the law firm. She did, kind of put him up on game. And now we know the reason, because she wants to make partner. So I really don't understand, why Gary is so invested in this. It's like you're wasting a whole bunch of money for nothing. Andy's not going to stop talking to the guy. She's going to continue to flirt with him. And she's still going to string you along, and you're still going to pay all the bills. You're going to give her a Rolls Royce. You're going to pay for a penthouse apartment, and you still not going to get anywhere fast with her. It's ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that. I think, that old girl is lost in the maze. Every time you think that Andy's going to be gone clear again, she gets pulled right back in. Something keeps bringing me back. You know what I mean? Like every single time, it's going to be pulling her back into the alignment with Gary. And Gary has shown us that he's dangerous, not only in just even being controlling. Physically, he's put her in harm's way on several occasions. So it's like, how many times must you get this lesson? How many times must you grow? How many times must you see this situation fester some more? All right. So, but it's not easy. I get it. It's a tough it's tough to release something that you've always like found comfort in. But this particular person needs to go. Okay, they sued you at one point. They needs to go. Okay, there needs to be no more playing around here, Andy. No more playing naive. They need to go. They're in your house, but they need to go. Yeah. What's your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I'm confused because as you were talking, both you and April, I reflected back to if it wasn't season 1, it was season 2. Didn't she wind up almost going to prison because the feds had come with his divorce and all this stuff with his ex-wife? Like, what happened with that? Like, did that just go away? It's like, where's the ex-wife that tried to kill him, and she almost got caught in the crossfire, but
yeah,
there were blanks in the gun.
She's
like,
in prison.
Why is she still with this guy? I just don't understand. And why? And then she's another one. Why are you accepting gifts from him? It just does not. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you accept gifts from this guy knowing they come with a string? And you know what I think it is? It just hit me. Andy thinks she's smarter than she is. And she always thinks that she can be 2 steps ahead of Gary because she has some information. Meanwhile, like you said, Kojo, he's so maniacal and duplicitous and has his own level of scornful energy that he's always one. They're like always on each other's heels because now he found out that she was trying to help old boy. Right. Meanwhile, he wants to banish him to London, but she's helping to undo the plans that he has. So it's a mausoleum.
Told no lies. Told no lies. Anything else you want to say, actually, April, about the scene? Or
I think it could be one or two things because I know that this has happened, back in the day with me, like when you're in college and somebody and this guy, you have amazing relations and it kind of keeps drawing you in. And it's like, maybe that's the case, that she keeps being drawn in because they have good relations with each other. And I mean, I just think about what Tamar said on the Braxton, like he must have a dingling of gold because there's no reason why I would take all of his toxicity and all the issues that he had and keep going back to him. And it seems that's like the only thing that draws them together is their relationship in the bedroom. That's the only thing that seems to kind of keep them together. And for that, just as I'm talking about it, that makes Andy very immature because for them to be at their big age, she should kind of be hip to the game. So I don't know what's really going on with Andy. And like you said, I think she thinks she's smarter than she really is. But Gary's always like 2 or 3 steps ahead of her. He's always thinking much further ahead and she's always caught by surprise. So I don't know. She better be glad she has Fatima on her team because Fatima can always call in her cousin and, get Gary together if she needs to.
gather them up. Yeah, gather them up. Okay. Any other words on this before I move on? I want to get us out before an hour. I don't want us to go over the hour. All right, we're going to play this last scene.
You're a convict.
Damn.
Convict music.
So it's time for you to go home.
So this is what you do? You dudes and then you kick them out?
That's what she do. And we appreciate that. She's quick to do that when it's the right person, but when it's the wrong person, baby, hey, focus on the relationship. But yeah, this situation here, yeah, someone said the bar is in hell. It really is. And Satan's using it up as a pull-up bar because what nonsense in the shenanigans of all the 7 realms of earth, if that really is the truth. What the hell's going on here? Because fam, like, baby, again, why are you in the bed with old boy? Why? Why do you allow yourself to be put in such situations again, Danny? Why is it that sex becomes your main motivation of language of communication? Baby, come on. We got to do better. We got to want better. We got to think better. Because this situation, I don't understand why you're laying down with this guy and you just met him at work. When you saw the ankle monitor, that should have been your first instance to be like, you know what? Appreciate this. Pack up your stuff. Just be out. But you continue to play and you want to find out. Okay. Continue then. Who wants to talk about this situation? Go on in April. Ladies first.
She's another one that really gets on my nerves because I need for Tyler Perry to kind of get some more backstory on her as to why she's makes the decisions that she's made, because clearly she's hurt. For someone to have just had a situation where you got strangled and choked and you're going to invite a convict into your house, like that makes no sense in her. Like, why would someone do that after you've had this traumatic experience with this other guy? And now you've invited this man with an ankle monitor into your home. Like I don't understand. Like, I need to know a little bit more about why Danny does the things she does. And I wish that Tyler Perry kind of give us like some insight to where she came from, because she clearly, likes to smoke weed. She likes to, to drink. She's always high. So when someone is like that and always in an inebriated state, you're trying to keep from feeling something. So I need to know what happened. And it's kind of getting to the point where it's annoying now, because it's like, you just like, why does she keep making these decisions? And we don't know. So we know a little bit more about Fatima than we know about her. So, and she's been on there since season 1, and that makes no sense to me. So I just want more character development and more backstory on Danny, because I don't understand why someone who just went through something like that would invite a convict into her home, know is wrong, and continuously does it. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm with you, April, because it's like, I get that some of us, we make a pattern of bad decisions, but not so close together. Like, literally, she just had that horrendous situation where she wound up running and then I'm still trying to understand. So the police just moved on from the fact that she ran this guy over. Or was he bullied out of pressing charges? I don't remember what happened with all of that. But anyway, nevertheless, here she is back again in another uncomfortable situation with the guy, and she's putting him out in a very aggressive, not nice way of telling him to leave. Makes no sense. And I'm not sure if because he's just so used to taking advantage of people, so used to being, sleeping in homes that he's not paying bills in. Did he really think that they were going to have a massive sleepover and this was going to turn into several nights of staying in her house? Like, is that what he was under the impression of? Like, what did he walk into the situation thinking? And Haitian Empress brought up a good point. Then he sleeps with men for money, and now he's sleeping with her. It's too much. It's just too much. What I am thankful for, and I'm glad Tyler Perry wrote that in, is at least Sabrina caught them in the act. Because if they would have dragged on a relationship for episodes after episode, I probably would have thrown something in my TV, because it has to stop somewhere. So I'm just very thankful that at least they did what she needed to do. They had their moment. They had their night. And now she woke up and Sabrina knows. And I tell you, these group of sister friends, everybody got a key to everywhere. Everybody got a master key. So I guess in this instance, it all paid off. I hope she cuts Preston loose. I hope Preston cuts himself loose. Yeah, somebody put in the chat, that's his name, Preston. So thank you. Yeah, I want him to be free from her. Stop going back to her. Stop threatening to be engaged to someone else. Just please leave it. Go. Be free of her. Because she's, at this point, she is toxic. She doesn't know how to be in a relationship. She doesn't know how to be in a healthy relationship. She has zero problem resolution skills. And this is why she's comfortable with okay, we did what we did. Now you can go. she's comfortable in those scenarios time after time again, because she doesn't really know how to deal with intimacy. She doesn't know how to work through an issue. She runs. She's always got her track shoes laced up.
Tell no lies and eat all the crumbs. Any last words on this? April? You don't have to.
I think that, and I'm just kind of thinking how Tyler Perry usually writes. I really think that he's going to, Preston is going to end up barging in for some reason, and they're going to have a little tussle or something. I feel like it's going to be something with Preston and the convict. I can't remember his name, but I feel like it might be some little tiff between them, perhaps. I don't think we're going to see the last of this convict. He's going to continue to press Danny. And now that Sabrina has caught them, I think Danny's probably going to be on the run from him. Because, look how he did Maurice.
I'm hearing you on that. Listen, hey, I think personally, in this situation, Danny, questionable decisions have always been made from Danny. We saw this last one, the guy that she got that, was a cowboy, not cowboy, but this was during the time of Preston as well. The guy, I don't know what it was, like a male model, a friend of hers, ended up sleeping with him, and just every time bringing a guy to your house recently, getting choked out, and you're still trying to allow people into your space so quickly. That's how I know that, listen, y'all just be doing the most, Danny. And again, it's brokenness. It's brokenness, a lack of ability to be intimate with somebody, a lack of ability to be vulnerable. And that pushes her away from actually settling in relationships, and it makes it easier for her to be promiscuous, because that's the easier way to be vulnerable and to be naked. That's the easiest way to do it. You know what I mean? Rather than actually being naked of her mind. Like, it's like, no, you can have my body, but not my mind. So, yeah, I know. To be honest, it's for me, yeah, they just need, one, again, better character development, but number two, again, I think with Danny, again, is, can she avoid similar situations in future, or is this going to be a consistent pattern we're going to see with her? And if it's a consistent pattern, it's telling us a lot more about you as an individual, maybe the influences you have, maybe the way that no one's pulling you up and holding you accountable. You can't be in the same place you were the first season. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some growth. You've been in danger this season. How quickly you've been in danger, and then you wanted to bring someone else to the fold. That's madness. So yeah. Crazy things are happening. Okay, cool. Sean, do what you do best, baby. Just give us a little roundup.
Okay, this is gonna be a benediction and a plea to Tyler. Please, Tyler, you have a captive audience over here in the Little Black Book family. Engage us. Do a round table. Get some ideas from us. We would love to see some development, as April said earlier, right, of these characters, and we can give you some thoughts, some ideas. Right? Come on, spread the wealth. So, we've got some advice for some of the characters here and some of our thoughts about what we're seeing, right? So Danny, we talked about her, right? We just really feel like the discernment is lacking there, the judgment, the decision making, putting yourself in unsafe positions, right? So if you don't heal it, it's going to keep showing up in your life in various different forms. And she thinks it's the men, but really she's running from herself, and she keeps showing up. So if you don't heal yourself, you can't run from yourself. So please, whatever trauma, whatever life experiences that you have that have you feeling a particular way, especially when it comes to relationships, make sure you do the inner work and you heal and you work on yourself. It's not always the other person. Sabrina, listen, I think many of the ladies know it. But sometimes we just need to be reminded, be careful of gifts, accepting gifts from men, especially, right? And those men that you don't know, and even sometimes the men that you do know, because in a lot of times gifts do come with strings, right? So be careful and know the heart of the giver before you ask or receive a gift, right? Zach and Fatima, listen, there's Justin Bieber's song that talks about saying sorry, right? It's okay to say sorry, Fatima. It's okay. And for any of us who struggle with apologizing, it's okay. It makes you human. It gives you the ability to be able to self-reflect and look and know that you do make mistakes, and it is okay. All of us have made mistakes before. And if you've wronged someone, apologize to the person. Don't make them beg for your apology. Don't make them, plead for that. Give an apology if you make a mistake. You don't know how sometimes that can change someone's life. So please apologize. Karen, she's another one that needs to heal, right? And give herself time to get over. And that old myth of you get over one by getting under another is wrong. It's flawed, because you continue to take the pain, you continue to take the wantingness into the next relationship. So heal first and then move on, right? But you got to do the work and you got to heal. When it comes to Zach, you need to get your life in order, bro. You've got the money, but money doesn't fix everything. You've got to get your life in order. You want to be a man, you want to be a provider. That comes with having stability. You can't constantly have all these untied, untethered strings laying around. As men, we need to make sure that we are stable. Stability is so important, and women look to us for that in relationships. That stability piece is very important, and sometimes that means you need to sit on the bench and heal and figure out how to get stable if your life is all topsy-turvy. Last but definitely not least, Hayden and Gary. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Not me, not Sean, not Gary, not Hayden, not nobody else. It's not up to us to exact vengeance on other people. When we do that, I think there's a saying, right? You digging somebody else's grave, you dig a grave for yourself, because eventually you're going to wind up in there too. And I mean, the way we feel about this show, I really wouldn't mind if either one of them wound up in a grave. It's a show, so take that for what it is. Back to you, Coach.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. Good roundup as well. I won't add too much to that. So, yeah, no, good roundup on that, and good encapsulation of what we spoke about today. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a powerful session. I liked it. I like it. Maybe we need to obviously do more shows. More shows. I said shows. More shows. So we'll look to do more shows. Obviously, Bel Air. I'm gonna try and do Bel Air tomorrow. Actually, before we do a men's panel, Bel Air tomorrow. We can do Bel Air. So if you guys watch Bel Air and you want to have a little bit of a say, watch us tomorrow. We'll be on there. We'll do a live before the men's panel. We'll come up as well. April, it's good to have you. We'll have you hopefully next week as well. So we can do it. We normally do it on a Thursday. So I'll go back to Thursday next week. I'm back to normal schedule. So Thursday we'll have the Sistas episode breakdown again as well. But no, it's been good. I like it, because there's a lot of shows that we all watch together and stuff, especially if you're on a patron, then we have our Discord where we have different conversations about different shows as well. So listen, I know, Sean, you watched A Perfect Match. I doubt I'm going to get around to watching it. So what I can do, I'll host a live for you guys. You have powers now anyway, so you can host a live with Seaway, and anyone else who watches it, then you can do a panel that way, because I haven't watched it and I probably won't going to watch it. Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. So are you finished watching it, Sean? Perfect Match?
No, it's getting on my nerves, actually. I'm somewhere between episode 5 and I keep having to rewatch it because I fall asleep. So I know Seaway is all plugged in, so she can drive it, because they're getting on my nerves. They're literally sitting on the top of my nerve with that stupid show. I can't take it.
Okay, it'd be like that. Okay, so we'll definitely we'll definitely someone said it was a good show at the beginning. We'll definitely do a panel for them, but tomorrow we'll do Bel Air season 2 episode 1. Apparently there's the other 2 episodes came out already. I didn't know that. I thought only first episode came out. I didn't
see that. I just watched it this morning. I didn't see more episodes for Bel Air.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I think Zeos put their first 3 episodes were interesting. So I don't know. I wasn't sure. But okay, cool. No worries. But yeah, no. So we'll definitely do Bel Air tomorrow, and then obviously if there's any other shows that people are really, really watching, hopefully we'll try and put some more panels on for you guys as well during the course of the week, so you can discuss it openly as well. Oh, episode 2 and 3 got leaked. Okay, I haven't watched that. I'll wait till official episodes drop, because it's too much to consume in one go. I just need to take my time. You know, go for it.
Culture, do you watch Harlem, or have you gotten into Harlem?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think the finale it only had 8 episodes, but it's really good. A lot of content.
I've been hearing about it. Again, I haven't watched it. I'll try and see what happens. I'll try and get into it and see if I feel it. I just heard that Megan Gill was doing some mad things, and I was like, after that, I said, yeah, let me leave that alone. Okay. All right, you know, but yeah, no, I've seen a couple people in the chat as well said they watch Harlem, so we'll see how it goes, isn't it? Do you get me? Maybe I'll get into it and then maybe I'll review it. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but the more suggestions are better, because we need to have more shows we can review that are outside of the reality TV. So these ones are kind of good, but Bel Air is good. I can't wait for The Shy to come back. Can't wait for Swagger season 2 to come back as well. Look forward to these kind of shows as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to this, man. You know. Bye, guys. We're gonna be off. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for Bel Air and also for the men's panel. Yeah, I started watching Last of Us, actually, to be honest. I don't know if anyone else has started watching that. I love a good zombie thing. I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't get into Walking Dead because it had already got like so many seasons ahead of itself, but I got into Last of Us and I've started watching it. It's been a really good show as well. Anyone else watch Last of Us? You watched Last of Us, April? Sean, you haven't watched it yet? Yeah, it's pretty decent still. Pretty decent. Good themes. All right, cool. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the gay couple they have in there, but yeah. It was like a go forward, come back situation. So they kind of gave a little bit of perspective. So I ain't mad at it. All right, cool. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you again very soon. Tomorrow night we go again. Much love again. Ta-ra.